It's Star Trek. I love it, it's important to me, but it's still a TV show. What is there to get?
For decades, Star Trek has been far more than just a television series. A cultural touchstone, a symbol of hope for a better future, and a fiercely loyal community bound by shared imagination. Yet behind the glimmering starships and futuristic ideals, the voyages of the Enterprise and its successors were often plagued by very human conflicts, creative clashes, bruised egos, personal tragedies, and decisions that forever altered the course of this beloved franchise. Some actors walked away by choice, others were pushed out, and a few disappeared under the weight of scandal and heartbreak. Today, we unravel those untold stories, the real reasons these actors left Star Trek, and how their departures rippled across one of the most enduring science fiction sagas in history. The captain who missed the voyage, Jeffrey Hunter's departure before it all began. Before William Shatner's Captain James T. Kirk became a household name, another man sat in the Enterprise's captain's chair, Christopher Pike, portrayed by Jeffrey Hunter. When Star Trek first sought life as a TV pilot in 1964, Hunter's Pike commanded a more cerebral, philosophical version of the show titled The Cage. NBC, however, rejected the episode, dismissing it as too cerebral. Yet rather than scrapping the idea, the network did something rare. They gave Gene Roddenberry a second chance to rework the concept. By the time the green light came, Jeffrey Hunter had lost interest. Whether it was scheduling conflicts, contractual disputes, or a reluctance to commit to an untested sci-fi series, Hunter walked away. His exit cleared the path for William Shatner to redefine what it meant to be a Starfleet captain. Interestingly, Hunter's portrayal was far from forgotten. Footage from The Cage resurfaced during the first season as part of the two-part episode The Menagerie, establishing Captain Pike as an enigmatic, wounded figure in Federation lore. Decades later, Pike would become a central figure once more, played by Anson Mount in Strange New Worlds, proof that sometimes even short voyages leave lasting marks. Denise Crosby's bold exit and the birth of Sela. When Star Trek: The Next Generation launched in 1987, Denise Crosby's Lieutenant Tasha Yar was positioned as the Enterprise DS Chief of Security, strong, unflinching, and ready for battle. But behind the scenes, Crosby quickly grew disillusioned. Her character, once brimming with potential, was sidelined with little meaningful development. Frustrated by thin scripts and a lack of narrative weight, Crosby made a bold decision to leave the series during its first season. Gene Roddenberry, unwilling to let her fade quietly, scripted a shocking end for Tasha Yar. In episode 23, Skin of Evil, she was abruptly killed by a malevolent alien entity, leaving audiences stunned. Yet Crosby's Star Trek story was far from over. She later returned, not only in flashbacks but in a new, cunning role, Sela, Tasha's half-Romulan daughter from an alternate timeline. This move allowed Crosby to finally embody the layered, complex character she longed for. Sela became a formidable adversary to Captain Picard, proving that while an actor may leave the bridge, their legacy often remains aboard. Will Wheaton's bittersweet departure? Will Wheaton was a rising young star when he joined The Next Generation as Wesley Crusher, the brilliant, often polarizing son of Dr. Beverly Crusher. Yet what began as a promising opportunity slowly soured. While actress Gates McFadden faced a temporary dismissal in Season 2, prompting a fan outcry and eventual return, Wheaton's character inspired no such movement. When Wheaton was offered a role in Valmont, a period drama, he requested time off from Star Trek. Producers refused, claiming the upcoming episode was critical for Wesley's arc. Wheaton relented and stayed, only to discover his character was ultimately cut from the script. It was a stinging betrayal. Disillusioned, Wheaton decided to leave, seeking roles that would offer him creative satisfaction. He later returned for guest appearances and, in a fitting twist, joined the mysterious travelers within the series lore. Today, Wheaton hosts The Ready Room, the official after-show for modern Star Trek, remaining an adored figure within the fandom. Journey is proof that sometimes leaving the bridge opens new frontiers. Michelle Forbes turns down destiny. Introduced in Season 5 of The Next Generation, Ensign Ro Laren was a bold, emotionally complex Bajoran officer portrayed by Michelle Forbes. Ro's character laid the groundwork for what would become the political and spiritual heart of Deep Space Nine, the Cardassian occupation of Bajorans. Producers had ambitious plans for Forbes, offering her a lead role on DS9. But Forbes declined, opting instead to pursue a burgeoning film career. Her decision stunned fans and production alike. Without her, DS9 reimagined its supporting cast, reshaping roles meant for Ro into other characters. Thankfully, in TNG's 7th season, a chance arose for closure. The episode Preemptive Strike provided Ro Laren a powerful, defiant send-off, as she betrayed Starfleet to join the Maquis, leaving Picard heartbroken. Forbes' absence reshaped Star Trek's trajectory, a reminder of how a single decision can alter a galaxy's fate. Terry Farrell's contentious departure from Deep Space Nine. Few characters embodied both wisdom and warmth as much as Jadzia Dax on Deep Space Nine, played by Terry Farrell. Behind the scenes, however, Farrell struggled with the show's grueling demands. As her contract neared its end after season 6, she requested a lighter workload. But rather than finding middle ground, producers, especially Rick Berman, allegedly pressured her to stay full-time. Feeling cornered, Farrell chose to leave. The fallout was severe. Showrunner Ira Stephen Barrett, unaware of the behind-the-scenes discord, was blindsided, forced to kill off Jadzia. In a cruel irony, Farrell soon landed a lead role in Becker, a sitcom produced by the same Paramount executives who refused her request for flexibility. Despite lingering bitterness, Farrell remains beloved by fans, and Jadzia's death marked one of Trek's most emotionally charged exits. Gates McFadden's sudden disappearance and triumphant return. As Dr. Beverly Crusher, Gates McFadden was the emotional anchor of the next generation. Yet after one season, she vanished. Rumors swirled of clashes with head writer Maurice Hurley, particularly over the show's treatment of female characters and the underdeveloped relationship between Beverly and her son Wesley. In a candid interview, McFadden later confirmed the tension, admitting she pissed him off by challenging outdated storytelling. Fan uproar over her absence prompted producers to reconsider. By season 3, McFadden returned, reclaiming her role and rebalancing the Enterprise's ensemble. Her comeback wasn't just a personnel change, it was a restoration of the show's heart. Diana Muldaur's short-lived stint as Dr. Pulaski. To fill McFadden's void, producers recruited Diana Muldaur, a veteran actress and Star Trek alum. Cast as Dr. Catherine Pulaski, she brought a no-nonsense, traditional attitude to sickbay. Muldaur faced a difficult task, replacing a beloved character while navigating a close-knit cast and a wary fanbase. Audiences disliked Pulaski's abrasive nature, especially her condescension toward Data. Officially, Muldaur left after one season due to other commitments, but her brief tenure marked a shift in TNG's dynamic. Though short-lived, Pulaski's character highlighted the importance of warmth and humanity within the cold expanse of space. Genevieve Bujold's abrupt exit from Voyager. When Star Trek Voyager was being cast, producers initially selected acclaimed actress Genevieve Bujold for the lead role of Captain Nicole Janeway. However, after just a few days of shooting, Bujold walked away, citing creative differences and the grueling pace of television production as incompatible with her acting style. Her departure forced producers into a desperate scramble. Enter Kate Mulgrew, who transformed the role, now renamed Catherine Janeway, into one of Trek's most respected captains. Bujold's quick exit, though disruptive, was serendipitous as Mulgrew's commanding performance helped define Voyager's legacy. Persis Khambatta, the bald beauty Hollywood overlooked. In the aborted Star Trek Phase 2 series and later the motion picture, Persis Khambatta played the striking Lieutenant Ilia, a Deltan navigator with empathic powers. Originally meant as a recurring character in Phase 2, Khambatta's role shrank when the series was scrapped in favor of a film. Ilia's character was ultimately reduced to a narrative device in the motion picture, sacrificed to the entity V'Ger. Though her time with Star Trek was brief, Khambatta made history as one of the franchise's first prominent alien female leads. Her portrayal remains a testament to Trek's progressive casting, even if Hollywood failed to fully embrace her talent beyond her shaved head novelty. Grace Lee Whitney's silent goodbye. One of the franchise's earliest and saddest exits belonged to Grace Lee Whitney, who portrayed Yeoman Janice Rand in the original series. Officially, budget cuts were cited for her dismissal. However, in her candid memoir, Whitney revealed the devastating truth. She had been sexually assaulted by a studio executive. Her termination, she believed, was a way to shield her assailant. Roddenberry later expressed regret, and Whitney returned in several Star Trek films and a poignant cameo in Voyager's flashback. She passed away in 2015, her story a tragic reminder of the darker forces lurking behind Hollywood's gleam. Kirstie Alley's lost opportunity. Kirstie Alley burst onto the Star Trek scene as the Vulcan Savik in The Wrath of Khan. Fans expected her return in subsequent films, but studio politics intervened. Paramount's lowball contract offer left Alley feeling undervalued, leading her to walk away. Robin Curtis stepped in, but audiences never fully accepted the change. Alley's departure highlights a recurring Star Trek theme, the studio's chronic undervaluation of its actors even as they carried its most beloved roles. Jennifer Lien's poignant farewell. As Kes on Voyager, Jennifer Lien portrayed a kind-hearted Ocampa with powerful telepathic abilities. Despite initial promise, the character struggled to resonate with audiences. Creative dead ends and behind-the-scenes shifts eventually led to Lien's exit in Season 4. Her farewell episode, The Gift, saw Kes ascend to a higher plane of existence. Though Lien's time was short, her graceful performance is fondly remembered. Her departure made way for the arrival of 7 of 9, a pivotal addition that revitalized Voyager's ratings and popularity. Anton Yelchin, a life cut tragically short. Perhaps the most heartbreaking Star Trek loss came with Anton Yelchin, who played Pavel Chekhov in the rebooted film series. At just 27, Yelchin died in a freak accident at his Los Angeles home in 2016, crushed by his own car in a tragic design flaw incident. Yelchin's death sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Chekhov was a fan favorite, and his loss left a void no recast could fill. Tributes poured in from co-stars and directors, a testament to his talent, kindness, and irreplaceable spirit. Through triumphs and tragedies, Star Trek has endured. It launched from a risky 1960s network gamble to an unstoppable multi-generational phenomenon, spawning television shows, blockbuster films, best-selling novels, fan conventions, academic courses, and even fully constructed languages. Its cultural footprint is colossal, and its legacy of diversity, optimism, and boundless curiosity continues to thrive like few franchises in entertainment history. When Gene Roddenberry first pitched Star Trek, he envisioned it as a wagon train to the stars, a weekly adventure show that could also serve as a platform for moral and philosophical debates on issues like war, racism, technology, and human rights. You imagine that this modestly budgeted, sometimes campy-looking series would plant seeds that would grow for decades. Its original cancellation after just 3 seasons in 1969 could have been the end, but Star Trek's fans, affectionately known as Trekkies and Trekkers, proved to be a force like no other. Passionate letter-writing campaign famously saved the show from an even earlier demise and later helped secure the first Star Trek feature film in 1979. Star Trek also made history as the first TV series to feature an interracial kiss between William Shatner's Captain Kirk and Nichelle Nichols' Lieutenant Uhura in 1968, a moment of cultural defiance during the height of the American Civil Rights Movement. NASA has long acknowledged the franchise's influence on inspiring generations of scientists, astronauts, and engineers. Whoopi Goldberg even credited seeing Nichols on the bridge as one of her motivations to pursue acting, leading to her eventual role as Guinan on The Next Generation. Over the years, Star Trek has continued to boldly go where no one had gone before, pushing the boundaries of storytelling with darker, serialized narratives in Deep Space Nine, feminist leadership in Voyager, and modern reinvention through Discovery, Picard, and Strange New Worlds. Its dedicated fanbase remains one of the most active, staging conventions in nearly every major city worldwide and even maintaining an unofficial holiday, First Contact Day, celebrated each April 5th. Decades later, Star Trek remains not just a series of shows and movies, but a symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring belief in a better future. Behind the iconic characters and legendary starships lies a tapestry of human drama, every bit as riveting as the interstellar adventures they portrayed. Star Trek wasn't just a science fiction series about warp drives and phaser battles. It was a stage where the very real challenges of fame, ambition, personal tragedy, and industry politics played out in the shadows. Grace Lee Whitney's painful early departure following her alleged assault remains one of Hollywood's most unsettling untold stories. And yet, return decades later in the feature films and Voyager's flashback was more than a cameo. It was a quiet act of resilience. Similarly, Gates McFadden's bold stand against a male-dominated writing room in the 1980s, risking her career by advocating for better female representation, resonates even louder in today's climate of industry accountability. Off-screen friendships and tensions shaped the show's destiny as much as ratings and studio executives. Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner's complicated relationship, equal parts camaraderie, rivalry, and mutual respect, became a legend in itself, mirroring the dynamics of their on-screen counterparts. At the same time, Nichelle Nichols once considered leaving the series only to be famously persuaded to stay by none other than Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who told her she was a vital symbol of dignity and hope for African Americans on television. The tragic loss of Anton Yelchin at just 27 years old is a sobering reminder that even among bright stars, life's fragility is ever present. His death devastated the tight-knit cast of the reboot films and the larger Star Trek family, whose tributes spoke to the deep bonds forged beyond the cameras. Perhaps what makes Star Trek's legacy so enduring is this collision of fiction and reality, where actors brought their personal vulnerabilities to roles that championed compassion, justice, and courage. Every exit, whether through choice, scandal, or tragedy, left its mark on the franchise's DNA. And that may be Star Trek's greatest lesson, that no voyage, however short, failed to add something meaningful to the larger journey. That every fallen star left behind a light that continues to guide new explorers through the final frontier.